Hi there, I'm Ilja.
And my name is Alina. And today we're going to have a look at game Quadropolis. This is published by Days of Wonder and designed by Francois Gandon. This game is about city building, where the key role is on architects. They do everything there.
Yeah. So, you are building a city. You're playing this game over the course of 4 rounds. Each round you will have a new bunch of tiles in the central board. So, let's go to the central board. There you have rows and columns of different tiles, different buildings. And you're gonna draft from there and then gonna build these buildings into your player mat. For that you need architects, for drafting this tile. So, to get a tile from the center, you choose an architect with a particular number, depends on what tile you want to get, and you will put this architect next to a row or a column from where you want to get that tile. And the number on that architect means which of these tiles from that row or a column that you choose will you get. For example, if I want to get a tile from the second left row, and that's a tile numbered 1, or let's say number 2, then I have to put the architect number 2 there. Thus I will get the tile, and then I will build it into my player mat. And I have to, there's the other thing with the architect. I have to build a tile on my player mat in a column or a row numbered 2. So everything depends on the number of the architects, what you get and where you build. So once you have built it, you will get the resources depicted in the upper corner. And these resources are basically inhabitants and energy. You will need these resources to score more points and to activate buildings. So in the lower corner of the building, you have an activation symbol. And basically it's the same. You can activate with energy or inhabitants. It's all depicted on the tile. So, you can put these meeples and inhabitants and energy whenever you want to, and you will basically build up a city. You want to build up a city that has different buildings interact with each other. Sometimes you have, for example, you have tower blocks that you can build higher and higher. You can stack the tiles upon each other, which means they have more floors, thus you will get more points. And you want to put parks near tower blocks, and so, the green, the fresh air, and so on. For example, the harbors will get you more points if they are in the longest row, etc. There are many ways to get the points. So basically, when you have done the 4 rounds or 5 rounds in an expert mode, you will take the score sheet and then score all these different endgame points. You will not score points during the game, only at the end of the game, depending on what grids and what city you have built and what buildings interact with other buildings. That's basically how you play the game. What's cool with the expert mode is that you have another side of that. You have an expert side with districts located a bit differently. And then you have 5 rounds, you have 5 districts. There are extra 2 buildings, towers and monuments. So there is much more strategy. Classical mode is more family friendly. The other modes, you can grasp this as well. The families can get it as well. But the thing is that there's much more freedom, but thus much more thinking. So, and that's how you play the game. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the game for his most beautiful city is the winner of the game. And I think we should go to our final thoughts now.
As always, let's start with components and artwork. This game was published by Days of Wonder, and you know that they always make exceptional quality. The artwork on the tiles is, let's say, it's family friendly. I would say even a bit childish, cartoonish. The buildings all look a little bit like, the mobile app, like city building games, which is good for me. I don't play them, but I like the style. What is, of course, the thickness is excellent, like quality and everything.
Yeah.
But there is one additional, something else. You have resources which are meeples, like the tiny tokens, but Days of Wonder really, it is very much like them. They do that additional mile, and they made them like transparent plastic, acrylic, gorgeous, and these ones, green and gray. That gives so much to the beauty of the game, and it's so tiny but gives so much to the game.
Yeah, it makes the game a bit more colorful, and maybe for some gamers it might be a bit too colorful as a game, but don't be scared by that colorful look of that game. When you start playing this game, it becomes more beautiful as you play and you create your own city. So, and let's go to creating a city. So, if you create a city, you know, what the thing I like here is how the buildings interact and how they have that theme. For example, factories here produce energy. Okay, that's cool. But if you will have energy left at the end of the game that you cannot use anywhere, you will get minus points. But by building parks, you will save this energy, and you put that energy on the park. Thus, you will save yourself from the minus points. Also, you are building parks near the tower blocks, the apartments, and you know, everything like that. So the inhabitants of the city will have a walk in the park. You know, it's a lot of theme, a lot of logical sense, and the interaction between buildings and how they score based on whatever buildings is near the other buildings, or you have like different floors of buildings, how they score as well. Of course, if you have more different inhabitants, your people are happier and you score more points, you know, maybe get more money as well. So I like all that interaction. And the other thing is that building itself are really simple. You have few icons. You have the icon for resources, and you have an icon for activation.
Extremely easy to understand.
Like it's extremely easy, yeah. But the choices of where to put that building and what building you eventually get with that architect and what number of architect you choose and use and whatever is really hard. It's like you need to think a lot, and I love that. It's almost the same for me as in 5 Tribes, where there are many choices, you want to choose the best. So
this game has really multiple strategies. So as Ilja already mentioned, each building scores differently, and they score by the adjacent building quite a lot. So, and you can never do all of them. If you want to be like do all of them, you will not really score. So you want to choose a couple of strategies and like the choices you make there, and you want to actually keep in mind what other opponents are doing, so that you wouldn't be on the way of opponent, and actually that you would know what other opponents, what strategy he's choosing. So and thus you might want to block them or choose a different strategy like that you wouldn't be blocked or something like that. So it has like lots, and and that's the reason it will gain a more like replay value, because you can choose a different strategies like each time.
Yeah, for example, in the last game, Alina was concentrating on monuments and, for example, shops to get more people into the shop. On one hand, it's a good strategy, but she also tried to spread out and get some other points from some other various buildings. I was concentrating on 2 types of buildings as well, the towers and harbor, but I forgot about all the others, so I didn't score many points. That's Alina won. So you should concentrate, but not going too much into just one strategy. Try to change your strategy based on what tiles are available and so on. You need to be tactical as well in this game. And about the tactics as well is that you have a blocking mechanism here. So you have that urbanist pawn. So whenever you take a tile from somewhere, you will put that urbanist in place of that tile. And the urbanist blocks that row and that column. You cannot take, basically you can do some other things, but you cannot put the architect so it will face the arrow towards the urban, so it will block few spots how you can get the tiles. Also, if you have an architect already somewhere, opponent cannot go there, you yourself, but the opponent cannot go on the same spot. So by putting the architects, you are blocking some of these spots and rows and columns. And that's really interesting. So there are really hard choices. What you want to get versus how you want to interact with your opponent and block his possible best buildings and movements.
You can simply take away the buildings that your opponent really badly needs.
Yeah. So about the blocking, it's really neat, easy, but really neat mechanic.
Yeah, it doesn't add too much fiddliness, or let's say it doesn't add any fiddliness at all. So it's still easy to understand and straightforward. Quadropolis has lots of layers. It is extremely easy rules, really easy to understand. It has like almost a bit childish artwork that might be a bad thing for some, but that would mean that it would appeal to your kids or teenagers or maybe non-gamer friends.
Or a wife.
That would be like different value, and so this game can be easily enjoyed by kids and actually gamers. Just these people would play on different levels. I'm not sure it's a good idea to mix these groups, but I just want to say it's for a really wide range of gamers, this game.
I would think even you can mix the groups. Or if you play in your family, you have like a father, mother, and children, for example.
Yes, that way you can show kids strategies.
Yeah, and you have the expert mode, you have the classical mode, and you can try both eventually, because the expert mode basically gives you more of that thinking and freedom. That's the only thing.
I would say it's much more gamers variant.
I
don't think we will play classical anymore. Maybe if we just want to show it to someone, but
yeah. We just want more choices there, but the classical mode is really good. Alina liked it a lot. I was fine with the game in a classical mode, but I liked it much more in expert mode. But I just want to have more strategy in games normally. So, our final thoughts on this game. After playing the expert mode, I like it much more. It's a city building game that I will gladly play. I think there's a lot of choices in there, a lot of replayability depending on what tiles, and we only have played it with 2 players. I'm not sure how it plays with 3 and 4 players, but
it should be better, I think.
Yeah.
But it played really well with 2.
Yeah.
The way
I liked it.
You some buildings you flicked, another one left unflicked, so it gave like the random. It was really nicely balanced for 2 players, or just less players.
With 2 players, you just get this back and forth. You take the tile, I'll take the tile. There's not much thinking. Maybe it may be a little bit AP prone game itself, but overall it's not that hard. So even with 3 or 4 players, there's not like too many choices that you choose. So you will basically pick something really fast and then it will go to the other player. So I like this game. I am fine with the art. It will not be my most favorite art, but I like the art. I like the extra tiles. I like how you can make the game longer and have some different modes, and I like all the components as well. So it's a big recommendation from me to gamers, to family gamers, like casual gamers, non-gamers, to everyone. It's another masterpiece from Days of Wonder, in my opinion, and I like it very much.
I totally agree that this is a masterpiece, absolutely 100%. We both like French School quite a lot because it is beautiful and the gameplay is usually straightforward and elegant.
Clever, of course.
Yeah, it's really smart. I love the artwork. I don't really like the people here, but I like the buildings because most of them, even like the towers, they have tiny details that you can look, and they're all different, or most of them
they
are
look
different.
cute.
They're really cute. They're cute. I really love the different strategies. I really love how you can play differently each round and the choices. The numbers of architects there, I love almost everything in it. I really enjoy. I'm not sure that I'm in love is going to be like in one of my top 10 or 20. Okay, maybe it might be in top
It might
20.
be in my
But
top
it's
20.
like one of the best city builders out there. Like,
Yeah.
definite recommendations.
And don't really compare it to Suburbia. Suburbia is something really different. It's economic city building tile placement game.
It's the theme only, like,
Yeah,
to say.
yeah. But this is a whole different story. So Würfel Reviews recommends this game. So check it out if you liked our review. You should also subscribe to our channel, share our channel. We'll be very thankful for that. But before we end, let's go to our final ratings.
I give this game 8.5 dice out of 10.
I give this game 8 dice out of 10.